So, welcome to Florida. We're here with another special edition of Finding Love. We actually received a listener letter talking about all the things that we love to dive into. So, stick around and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Made me feel complete. Is OD, you got me, is OD. Baby, you're all that I need. Now I can be what you mean to me. Boy, I know you need this.
All right, Finding Love family, we really appreciate all the listener letters, all the DMs, but this one specifically has so many layers that we had to dive into this one just for you because there are so many relatable pieces to this story. And I'm gonna let Wifey take it from here.
All right, let's read it. Good morning. I am emailing you to share with you my story. So, back in July of 2020, I started dating a guy whom I had known from middle school. We had spent time in our adulthood interacting on the phone with one another here and there over the years. Everything was all platonic, and we never linked because he was still in a relationship with his baby mom, or BM. Okay, and other women amongst life issues from my understanding. During our phone calls, he would sometimes express to me the issues in his relationship with his kid's mother, and I share my share of crappy run ins with guys. We were friends, and we should have understood we were friends, and he should have understood my stance on certain things when it came to BM and BD relationships once there was a new relationship involved because we talked about those things. So when we first got together, he had just moved out of his BM's house. I opened my door to him for a few months, and then he left one night in the middle of the night in September of 2020. I didn't know where he was staying after he left my house until one day his sister, who I was once friends with from high school, calls me and tells me that he's back staying at his BM's house per their mother. She even called the mother on three-way, and the mother expressed to me that her son had unfinished business in that situation and that he never wanted to leave. Okay, I got to put those air quotes out there for you. That right there opened up my insecurities with his co parenting relationship with his BM because I felt there was some BS in the game. Of course, he denied everything his mother and sister said, and he even summed it up to his mother being someone who never wanted to see him happy. But instead of ending the relationship then, I continued. Fast forward to October of 2020. Now his BM needs him to watch the kids, who are 4 and 3 at the time, while she worked 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The dude was now staying with his aunt and felt the best to watch the kids was at his BM's house, which was so weird to me. For a woman to want a man that she is no longer with to be up in her house all day with free range while she isn't there was unheard of, okay, to me. But I felt the BM knew what she was doing, being she would play on him and he would let her. When she was dating or had male company, she didn't have him watch the kids. But when she knew it was interfering with the relationship with me, the kids needed to be watched. See, my parents were divorced by the time I was old enough to remember things, and when my dad pulled up to pick me and my sister up, we went outside and got in the car and pulled off. My mom and dad weren't cordial enough that they sat and conversed on the phone, or to the point that my dad came over to visit my sister and I inside our home. So this type of co-parenting relationship was very unrelatable to me and kind of uncomfortable. But when I would express the reasons as to why I was feeling uncomfortable, with the whole set of him watching his kids, dude would start verbally attacking me and telling that I was jealous of his kids and the fact that he was showing up for them and my kids' fathers weren't showing up for them. He would tell me that I was jealous of his BM because she had a BD who was helping her with her kids and I didn't. Now, I already had some reservations about this particular BM and the kids because I was not given the opportunity to meet these kids for some reason. He wouldn't let me meet these two. But we had previously gone out of town with his oldest son, who has a different mother, for the whole weekend for a basketball tournament. So the situation was already strange and side-eye worthy to me. Honestly, the whole interaction with the younger kids and their mom caused me to grow a dislike for the BM, the kids, and him, honestly. This one issue blew up into a huge disaster that is still smoldering 5 years later. So many things transpired in our relationship that there seems to be no coming back from. But I want to know how I should have handled things 5 years ago. Was I wrong for not being understanding of him watching the kids at his BM's house? Or were my feelings, my reasons valid? Should he have taken my feelings into consideration and found a way to compromise for everyone? I would love you guys' insight. I hope to hear some feedback in an episode. Girl, you know you gave us an episode.
Look, once again, thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing with us. Thank you for the transparency. And thank you for the chronological order.
Yes.
Because you put this together beautifully. Now, if I may.
Please.
May I?
Take it, baby.
Okay. So, because you put this together chronologically beautifully, I would like to go to the very first paragraph. Something stood out to me towards the end of it. It said, everything was platonic and we never linked. Here it is. Because he still had a relationship with his BM and other women amongst life issues from my understanding. And so when I hear that one, that's the first red flag, because it sounds as though he's in the middle of a relationship with a baby mama, still dealing with other women while he's dealing with his baby mama. And there's other life issues that he's dealing with that he needs to handle before he's ready for any other relationship. So while he's dealing with all of that, those are multiple red flags. And you have to provide a space for a healing journey before he even is equipped to place that in the past and structure his life in such a way that he's even ready for you. So I'm going to go right here and say those are kind of 3 red flags in one to show me that he wasn't even prepared to jump ship to another one without handling some internal issues first.
And I got to point out a couple more red flags because he was popping them out. I was like, wait a minute. I said, this story's still going? He went from his BM house to your house to his aunt's house. Did he ever have a house? Red flag. Red flag. You got too many kids and too many baby mamas for you to be out here and not have a little apartment. Okay? I'm going to go with that red flag. And then also, he's pillow talking with you about somebody who is precious to him. The baby mama or the mother of your child is still precious for a certain amount of time, okay? Forever, really. She still has enough of a stake in your life where she needs to be protected. And you, being a mother of children, you should have known, like, if my baby daddy talked about me like this to some other women, I would have an issue with that. And I know that you guys were growing in your friendship and, trying to figure things out. And I can even understand that because you knew him since middle school, you fell into a level of comfort with this person. But he was revealing himself to you as an adult. He was consistently saying, hey, I pillow talk. Hey, I talk to a bunch of women. Hey, I lay down and have children with multiple women. Hey, I'm going to weaponize any feelings you have about me and these other women. Hey. He was just throwing them up, throwing them red flags left and right. And you was like, you were blocking them because of probably that level of comfort and maybe some other things. And that's what it made me kind of stop and think, I know that we're only getting one piece of this story, right? We're only getting this chronological history of what you've been through because you, being someone who is self-aware and trying to grow, is so admirable, right? But you only gave us the things that you wanted us to look at the time, where I kind of need the full scope.
Yeah.
I need to know, was he also caring, loving, doting, supportive? Because right now, all I'm seeing is red flags, and you talking about fixing something 5 years ago, and I'm like, are we done with him? I didn't get that. Are we still in this relationship because I want to run? But I know it's another component to it.
And I'm going to look at the story as it's laid out as the truth. And to me, what I'm seeing is a woman that is trying to navigate a co-parenting space with her kids and the space with her boyfriend's kids, because I believe that's what they are at this time. Yeah. However, the man is not providing the structure and the organization that he must provide. One of the next things that she says in the second paragraph is that he expressed to her issues of the relationship as it related to his baby mama. And one thing that you have to do, especially when you're early on dating in the relationship, because at this point, you guys have started dating for about a month, maybe 2 months. He needs to protect your relationship from what's going on over there. So bringing that negative energy of kind of gossiping about his BM, that is not a man that is setting a plan in place to be able to handle what's going on over there while making plans for you. A man doesn't do that. A dad doesn't do that. A dad is a protector. He's a protector of his children, and he's a protector of what he cares about. And if he cares about you, he is going to make you feel comfortable. And he is not going to lean on you. Because to me, when a man does that and leans on a woman about his co-parenting situation, especially early on in dating, that is another red flag. So I got 2 red flags already. So I'm gonna package the first ones, the 3 into 1, and I'm gonna call this the second one. So I'm giving a little bit of grace. So I'm on 2 red flags right now.
I want 17, but I have a little moment of grace that I want to throw in there. You were talking about the difference in relationship with his oldest child versus this 3 and 4-year-old. And now that we have a 19-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old, I am very particular about how I handle each of them. My 19-year-old, we probably could kick it with him, like, yeah, I'm about to pull up on this one shawty, like, I'm just kicking it with her real quick. It ain't even gonna be that deep. But, say hi, make me look good. That 3-year-old is like, are you my new daddy? Or do you think you're gonna replace my daddy? Because what is going on around here? You know what I'm saying? So there is a level of protection that is necessary for the younger children that may not have to have been in place with a little bit of an older child. I got to throw that grace in there because you've been kicking it with this guy for so long. I have to look and read between the lines and assume that he has some goodness about him because this letter, I got your back, girl. But so I do want to start there. I want to start by saying that a 3 and 4-year-old need to be handled a lot differently from a kid that's going to a hoop tournament and, playing basketball with you. That 3 and 4-year-old need to be introduced in a different manner, handled with a different level of care, and they do need both parents to be on board. So if the BM is, unreasonable and doesn't want her kids to meet you, that will be very, very hard on you building a relationship and allowing those kids to flourish in life the way that you want them to. And I'm just going to say that just as being a mother and all of that, because girl, I know when we dated, we like, wait, especially if you have kids. You met my kids and I can't meet your kids. What's up? Yeah. I get it. I understand it. But I want you to think about that. Think about the way that you have to coddle and protect and really mother bear on a 3 and 4-year-old versus a 10, 12, 13-year-old, right?
Yeah. And you mentioned it. They have not been kicking it in this space that long. They've known each other an extremely long time. But this space...
It's 5 years later.
5 years later, but they've only been kicking it since July.
Of 2020, right?
Yeah, we still right there.
Oh, this letter coming now.
No, it's over.
Yeah, but I think they still kicking it.
Well, we're going to see.
This is the problem.
She had to let us know. But another thing that she did mention is that they had discussions about expectations as it related to moving forward in the co-parenting space. Now, I would love to have a little more context on what that was. Were there specific boundaries that were talked about? Because it has to be. Was it talks about the evolution and maturity of the relationship on how they will progress and move forward while protecting the children and protecting their relationship from what may be a negative co-parent, or not a negative co-parent, but a co-parent negatively affecting their relationship.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that she said that they had discussions about it. So he should have had an understanding moving forward of being clear with her.
Yeah.
So because she had these conversations, that's another red flag for me. What I'm going to give her the grace of, you've had clear conversations about the expectations of how you guys are going to move forward. And if that was communicated and he did not provide that clarity moving forward, it's another red flag.
I gotta just protect my ladies per usual, because she probably outlined all the things that she thought would happen.
Yeah.
She probably outlined them pretty clearly and thought that it was very clear on how she wanted to handle each other. But then he want to go over there and stay at this woman's house from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. while she at work. I didn't know that was a possibility. And now I'm uncomfortable with it. And I get to say that, men. Okay, I don't care how many conversations we had about it. I didn't know that this was even a situation that could potentially come up. And now that it did come up and I did express myself to you, for you to shut me down and say, attack me and my baby daddy and how my kids, don't have the same level of support that you providing to your kids. I gotta stop being so hot on these parenting conversations. But it let me know right then that he was not trying to be solution oriented. And he was not being a leader. When you have kids and you are trying to protect them and you are trying to protect the peace around this co-parenting situation, you have to be very intentional with all parties. He needs to be clearly communicating with his BM that he's full-blown dating somebody that he lived with. He needs to be very clear in communicating with his woman, making her not feel insecure about you watching your kids. That should be the last thing that we are insecure about. However, when she presented this new level of discomfort that you unlocked, because that's not in my parenting home. No, in my notebook, I don't know where that's. Where does it say we go over their house and stay for 8 hours? Huh? And then how early do you got to get there? Is this why you think you got to spend the night? And do you leave it as soon as she get there? Are you on the porch? Like, I got too many questions. And I'm sure you did too, which is why it was a conflict. But as a man and as a leader and as a protector, that was his job to say, this is why this is more comfortable for us. This is, they 3 and 4, so they got all their toys there. I don't really have a home because he lives everywhere, Maybe she got all the materials. I don't know. He should have been able to communicate that with you and at least give you a level of comfort that says, I understand that he's working through this too. Because guess what? As the person that is dating someone with children, you can't expect them to have it all figured out either, especially if he was in a relationship with this woman. So it's still new. He likes you. He, maybe is falling in love with you, but he has this bond in this relationship with this woman that he's been in for several years, and he's produced 2 children. So he's still navigating these frameworks too, right?
Yeah. And a critical early moment that I also noticed, you guys started kicking it in July of 2020. But this is key right here. So when we first got together, he just moved out of his BM's house. I opened my doors to him for a few months. And then he left one night in the middle of the night in September of 2020. One thing I have to tell anybody is that time and space will tell the truth about any co-parent's relationship. The challenge here is that you were trying to help him. And especially early in the relationship, the man has not built up enough credibility and has not invested enough to make those type of withdrawals yet. And if you just allowed a moment to evaluate time of them apart, that's the space as well, you would have been able to see if this relationship between them is actually over and if your relationship has staying power. But because this is only a couple months later, he leaves in the middle of the night without communicating to you why. Leaves you uncertain, leaves you with insecurities, and it leaves you asking questions. And who is supposed to answer these questions in the relationship? The man is.
Yeah.
But he leaves in the middle of the night, and now you are stuck in your house trying to navigate the future of this relationship by yourself.
Kids, no kids, married, single. Where is you going? Where are you going in the middle of the night without a word? And why do I have to hear from family members that you potentially back? Why do I even have the knowledge that your mother may not want you to be happy? What?
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much. And this is a man who was raising multiple children with multiple baby mamas. He has a lot of work that he needs to do internally and a lot of growing to do before he can pour out anything into you. And you have kids too.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to swim. I'm swimming through these red flags. I'm swimming through it, and I'm trying to find the grace because I know that the woman who wrote this note, this letter, has been thinking about the pros and the cons. She's been thinking about the role that she's played in this.
Yeah.
She's been thinking about what could she have done better and how she needs to grow. She's been thinking about was she good enough for him? And now you've allowed this man who ain't even got a house to create insecurities in you when I can already tell a good person is constantly growing. A good person, a good self-aware, a mature person is constantly looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, did I handle this right? How can I grow from this? What's next?
Yeah.
Every day. So you doing that openly and honestly with us lets me know that this isn't your first time.
Yeah.
You ain't just pop out being self-aware. You've been doing the work. You've been trying to find the answers. And again, it's so admirable. Don't allow. I'm not trying to go too hard on my mess. I don't know I'm like that. But don't allow this man to create a space to unleash insecurities that don't belong to you.
Yeah.
He made those insecurities in you. And it is not your job to try to overcome some things that he put in you. Him saying that you just jealous of my kids, that they got a daddy who go be there and your kids don't. Yeah. He just weaponized him being a good person. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't pray for someone and then say, you wish you had somebody to pray for you like that. You wish you had a friend that knew the Bible like that. No, you don't do that. Yeah. You don't weaponize the good in you. Right. So if he was such a good dad, he was just trying to show up for his kids and be the best dad that he could be, he would have never let those things fall out of his mouth. And a good dad or a good person is trying to figure out how to navigate the space of co-parenting your children as well. Yeah. So I don't care if I thought my baby mama was the worst or if I thought she was the best. I knew that my role coming in was to still love on that kid. So if he think your baby daddy ain't nothing and did not come from a space of look at everything that I'm doing for your children, yeah, I ain't gonna say no more.
And piggybacking on that, he said that when she would bring up the relationship, he would verbally attack her and say that she was jealous of his baby mama because their kids had a father that's in their life. One thing that a man is always going to do, he's going to make it very clear that you guys are on the same team, especially if you guys are operating in a co-parenting dynamic. He is going to make sure he draws a line in the sand and say that me and you are together, and that is the mother of my children, but me and you are on the same team.
Yep.
And the other thing that we always say that you must look at when you're seriously considering a relationship with somebody is you look at the people closest to them. And what I heard in this letter is that his mother and his sister both confirmed that after that night in September where he rolled out, that he was back with his BM, that he had unfinished business according to his mother. And his sister even confirming that they spoke on three-way, and that's where he was. And so if we're looking at the closest relationships in someone's life, you have to look at their siblings and you have to look at their parents. And if his follow-up is to say that they don't want him happy and to deny whatever they said about him, one is, do you want to be with somebody who is not close with his siblings and his mother because they lie on him? Or do you want to be with somebody who's not close on their siblings and their mother because he lies on them? And that is what you have to look at in these relationships. So, unfortunately, this is another red flag that I'm seeing in this letter right now.
So he got a bundle of red flags, gold garbage bag to go from house to house with, okay? But you had the ultimate one. And I'm so sorry, I gotta tell you, because I love you and I want you to be great. You said you had a dislike for him, the baby mama, and the kids after all of this. And it's totally understandable because told you Angelica tried me. I was like, oh, do I really want this? But you cannot come from that space and live in a flourishing and healthy and sustainable, long-lasting relationship like that.
Right.
You can't even hate the baby mama. I love my baby mama. I pray for my baby mama. I want my baby mama to be successful. All of that because I love the kids so badly. I don't need him to have one good parent and a bonus parent. I need him to come from just love, just support, just everybody is winning. So I understand why you ain't messing with him, okay? Because I told you he taking that garbage bag full of red flags from house to house. But you have to have a space in your heart that is open to love and love beyond the insecurities that he tried to put on you. Because him going out in the middle of the night, him going to stay at his baby mama's house, from 7 a.m. to 3, even though that made you uncomfortable, him weaponizing, him taking care of his children and playing down your feelings of discomfort are all on him. But on you. You don't know them kids. They're babies. You have to love them. You have to respect them. You have to want nothing but the best for them. And the best thing for them is to come from healthy mother, healthy father with a healthy bonus parent. So, because of that, I know you ain't speak no lies when you said it. And I know it came from a place of pain, from uncomfortability, from insecurity. But it is a real feeling that doesn't just go away.
Yeah.
You can't go from not liking someone to loving them unconditionally. And when you are in a thriving relationship, just like you would want someone to love on your children, you gotta love on theirs in that same capacity.
Yeah. One thing I learned from women is that you guys sometimes can't control your emotions and you wear them on your sleeve. So I have to put the onus of this on the man because he has to make way and he has to set the tone for the relationship. And the reason you felt that way is because he isolated you. He isolated you from what appeared to be his family, including his baby mama.
Yep.
And he isolated you over here sometimes. So he would go back and forth between his family and you. And the reason you felt like that is because you were making plans to be a family. And it wasn't clear in this letter, but maybe sometimes he would say these things to you. But it's very clear, man to man, that actions speak louder than words. Men are of actions, not of emotions. We say what we're going to do. So when he isolates you, to me, that's a telltale sign that that's another red flag, and that he is not prioritizing you to be a part of his family, because plans should be clear and you should see it, and you guys should be discussing it, and you should feel it.
And because I kind of feel like you might still be dealing with him because you're talking about these issues are still smoldering 5 years later, I gotta answer these questions so directly because I need you to hear me. Because I want the best for you. Number one, you said, was I wrong for not being understanding of him watching the kids at the BM's house, and were my reasons valid? You are never wrong for feeling the way that you feel.
Yeah.
Period. Now, the way you deliver those feelings could be incorrect. The way that you are not looking for a solution, but only looking for your way or no way can be invalid, but you are never wrong for feeling the way that you do. You are uncomfortable, and I think you were uncomfortable, very justified. Number one, that's unprecedented. People don't just go over people's houses, like you said, and be there all day, and they ain't got nothing going on. So I think it was valid. I think that maybe it came off in a way that made him put his defenses up, but absolutely not. You were very reasonable in feeling that way.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing that I have to sum this up in is that a couple months later, he had to go to his BM's house to watch the kids because he didn't have his own place. And so you guys are kicking it in July of 2020. And in October of 2020, he still does not have his own place, and he's staying with his aunt. What's clear to me is that he has gone from his BM's house to your house, back to his BM's house, and at least he said he went back to his aunt's house. A man should be able to fend for himself. If a man cannot take care of himself and take care of his kids, he is not prepared to enter a relationship in which he is planning to take care of you. Are you overreacting? Not at all. But did you fall head over heels without setting the proper boundaries in place, where in July, August, September, October, we probably could have saw that this guy is not prepared to stand on his own 2 feet and provide for himself and his kids? How can he possibly provide for me and a future family with me? Did you overreact? No, you didn't. But did you overlook? You did. Because by October, we can see he has not set me as a priority, and he does not have the capability to put the structure in place to provide for himself, his kids, or me in the future.
And then the second part of this question was, should he have taken my feelings into consideration and found a way to compromise for everyone? Absolutely. I don't think that the answer was for him to say, oh, okay, let me tell my baby mama that I cannot watch the kids because you feel uncomfortable. No. But should he have been able to articulate himself as to why it was so necessary for him to go to the house rather than bring them to another common ground or take them to the park, the mall to eat? I don't know, it's an 8-hour day. It's a lot of stuff going on. But could he have done some things and put some things in place to make you feel more comfortable? Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And now, looking back, one of the things that you need to reflect on is, would you have been able to take his suggestion if he said, hey, I'm not ready for the kids to meet you yet. I'm at your house. I don't really have anywhere to take them. She has all of the materials that I need, the food, the toys, the clothes, at her place, and it's an 8-hour day and the kids aren't in school. Could you have internalized that makes a lot of sense at the time and said, well, look, let's talk throughout the day. Can we FaceTime during their nap time? Could you guys have put some things in place? Absolutely. The fact that he invalidated your feelings and then weaponize his good deeds in order to make you look like you were just this jealous, crazy person is what I have the problem with. Not with the fact that you felt uncomfortable with some stuff that we ain't even seen that on no TV show. Jody, okay? So there was no precedent for you laying these feelings out and boundaries out ahead of time. And you may have probably said that you were uncomfortable. Maybe you said it like, oh, no, you ain't gonna. I don't know. I'm reading between the lines. So when looking back and really thinking about what should have happened, I want you not to focus on trying to validate how he tried to make you feel.
That's right.
I want you to really, really focus on how you felt in that moment. Yeah. Did you feel safe? Did you feel protected? Did you feel secure? If the answer is no to everything you wanted to feel, did you feel his loyalty? Did you feel his love? Did you feel his leadership? Did you feel it? If the answer is no, that's the answer that you are looking for. You are not looking for, did I do something wrong to make him feel bad about taking care of his kids? Or did was I just too insecure to accept him going over there for an 8-hour day? Or, no. Refocus and reshift what you are trying to get out of looking at what happened 5 years ago, and really take into mind that yes, the kids will grow up.
Yeah.
Yep, they'll be 18 in no time. Ours is 19. I was like, whoa, what just happened? But that's still our baby. We still talk to him. We still coddle him. We still feed him. We still take care of everything. He's still our baby. So if I was in this thing thinking, whew, 18, we're done with that. I made it. I made it through the trenches. I would be rudely awakened right now. So don't think that 5 years ago is done if y'all still arguing about it now. And guess what? They only 8 and 9 now. So that means that's 10 years before they even think about going to college or doing anything else. And then just know it's a lifetime of figuring out how to maneuver in this co-parenting space.
And you ask, should he have compromised for everyone? No, he should not have compromised for everyone. Mm-hmm. He should only compromise for his kids. And if you are in a serious relationship, you should be a part of that conversation. But understanding that you guys have taken it serious for a couple of months, he compromises for his kids. And if he's planning to be serious about you, he is going to communicate what he is doing with you. Yeah. And keep the lines of communication open to show that he is going to bring you along in his plans. Mm-hmm. But consider his BM? No, he should not necessarily be considering the BM that you are outlining in this letter. He should be creating the gap between them wider while making his communication with her more streamlined and efficient. That is what should be happening. So the compromising should be only for the kids. Yeah. But the next person who should never compromise is you. A person that is dating a co-parent is nothing to play with. And 3 months, to me, is enough time to see if this is worth the road and path you want to travel down. Because it requires so much more patience and investment, and you should only be doing it if it's that much worth it. To me, it's clear that by July, August, September, and October, you did not overreact, but you did overlook several red flags to show that he was not up to the task of being a dad and a partner to you.
And on that, I think we should toast.
Let's toast.
This letter pulled at my heartstrings so badly. I want to toast to every single woman that thinks that having kids is a burden to the person that she's dating, or is trying to protect the person that she's dating with a reckless disregard for her own feelings. Women are incredible beings that adapt to so much. It is not our job to adapt to chaos, to uncertainty, to confusion, and to any level of uncomfortability. It is the man's job to make sure that you feel protected, safe, secure. So don't ever dim your light to make somebody else appear just a little bit bright, because they could never be bigger and better than you are. So I want to cheers to finding love, cheers to staying open to love, and continue to stay in a space that you are loving on yourself and being self-aware to being the best person you can be each and every day.
Cheers. We are finally here at season 2, and we could not have done it without any of you.
We're talking all stages of relationships, from dating to courting to marriage to reaching that forever status.
We are bringing all the true stories to the forefront, and guess what? This year we're coming back bigger, better, and stronger, and it's all because of all of you.
So stay tuned for what we're going to do next. We are on all platforms at I Am Finding Love, and be sure to subscribe to our website at iamfindinglove.com.
And do not forget, tune in each and every Friday as you keep asking us questions and we keep delivering the answers.
Baby, you're all that I need. No, I can be what you mean to me. Make me feel complete.